to discredit those witnesses. You followed this trial. Which team do you believe gave jurors the most compelling argument?
You know, the prosecutor spent 6 hours painstakingly going through the arguments that had been made throughout the last 6 weeks here. Then you had the defense that essentially framed this as these are women, they said, that were liars and were opportunists. But obviously the jurors of 7 men and 5 women saw it differently, guilty on all counts. But we knew that this was going to last several weeks, that there was going to be a lot of information and testimony given by various people, not just people who accused R. Kelly of sexually assaulting them, but people who worked with him. The defense only called 5 witnesses, while the prosecution called a total of 45, and again, at that over about a 6-week period.
And of course, R. Kelly still has legal battles after this trial. In Illinois, he faces more federal charges, including child pornography and aggravated criminal sexual abuse. He also faces criminal charges in Minnesota for 2 counts of engaging in prostitution with a minor. He has pleaded not guilty to all of these charges and denies any wrongdoing. But what will happen next for R. Kelly?
And you have to excuse me, I'm just looking at my phone as we have producers inside just giving me information as things are happening. As far as what will happen next, that's a good question, Tanya. I spoke to Steve Greenberg, one of R. Kelly's attorneys who's in Chicago. When I asked him what he thought would ultimately happen today, he said, you know, I gave up a long time ago on trying to determine how jurors are thinking. I'm waiting to hear a comment from him, knowing that R. Kelly has been found guilty on all counts. But he also said that he felt when prosecutors have to get creative, he said, to bring criminal charges, that's dangerous. So what is he talking about there? He's talking about this idea of using a criminal enterprise to make a case against R. Kelly. That's usually reserved for organized crime, but in this case, they used that to say that he was the leader that had a huge influence in the people around him to help him procure, to get women that he essentially wanted to have sex with. And then you have the sex trafficking, having sex with minors over state lines. So we're waiting to see what Steve Greenberg has to say, because, again, he represents him in that Chicago case that you're speaking of. But wow, what a fall from grace. I don't know that too many people are that shocked. Just to go back, if you know, where all of this started, 2017, there was that BuzzFeed article that claimed that R. Kelly was holding women in his home against their will. Then we even did a story with Faith Rogers, 2018. She said that R. Kelly unknowingly to her gave her an STD, which was a crime, and she was suing him at the time for that. And then 2019, he's charged with crimes right after that Surviving R. Kelly documentary airs, where many women came forward in that documentary alleging that R. Kelly sexually assaulted and abused them. So this is years in the making. And again, they started out, the prosecution, referencing his relationship with Aaliyah. They had people that testified that they saw them taking part in sexual acts when she was 13, 14 years old. There was record of them trying to allege that they had been, not alleged, but the records that they were married when she was 15 and he was 27. So they started there and just really built their case, showing a pattern and a history of someone who had sexual encounters with young women. And again, the jurors believed the prosecution. The defense maintained that these women were liars, that they were in consensual relationships, and that they were opportunists, that now the money is gone and they want to speak out. But the jurors saw otherwise. R. Kelly found guilty on all counts involving racketeering and sex trafficking.
And Jericka, do we know when sentencing is scheduled to happen? Like you said, these are very, very serious charges, and R. Kelly could be behind bars for a very long time.
We don't know, and I'm actually looking at emails coming in, trying to figure that out. Sentencing will be on May 4th at 10 o'clock. So there's the answer. All of this literally just happening within minutes. So we're getting information. Again, we have crews inside, producers inside, getting even more information. But the big story today, 3-time Grammy Award winner R. Kelly, guilty on all counts. Tanya, I'm not sure if you're talking to me. I can't hear you. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, that's all right. I lost you for a second there, Drika, but I have you back
Sorry.
again. I just wanted to ask you, taking a step back and looking at the sort of the larger implications of this R. Kelly case. There were a lot of people who say, this is in some ways a vindication for black women when it comes to the Me Too movement, that for many, black women, the justice that movement promised came a little more slowly, and that this is finally some element of realizing that. What
I think Tanya,
what have
when
you
look
seen?
Back at the, sorry, Tanya, when you look back at the number of jokes that have been made about R. Kelly's alleged behavior going back to the 90s, and then you take a look at the moment that we're in now, there's no doubt that these allegations were taken more seriously, especially, I can't say enough about that Surviving R. Kelly documentary, and it looks like this is the defense that may be speaking for R. Kelly, but I'm not sure if they're going to come to this podium that's set up. So just stay with me for 1 second. I think it doesn't look like they're going to stop. And not surprising, they didn't win, they lost. And a lot of times when you lose, you don't really have too much more to say. Looks like they're moving ahead, although they have stopped. So it looks like maybe one of the attorneys is speaking. I'm kind of in a position where I'm not going to move. So I know we've got somebody heading over there right now who will probably be listening, in and telling us what is being said. They're surrounded by the media off to my right side. But going back to what I was saying, the Surviving R. Kelly documentary really put it in the forefront. It aired on Lifetime. Millions of people watched it, and more people started asking questions, especially in this moment post-Me Too, and asking, why haven't these allegations involving black women been taken as seriously as some of the other things that we've heard about? So that sort of starts the beginning of the end, if you will, for R. Kelly. 54 years old, and now potentially facing the rest of his life in prison. We don't know the actual sentencing guidelines. We know it's decades. There were some questions about that, but he will be sentenced, as we're learning, again, May 4th at 10 a.m. And I mean, that's May 4th, a year, over almost a year from now. So who knows what will happen in those other cases, as you stated, regarding the case in Chicago, where they believe that he, in that case, prosecutors allege that he fixed his 2008 trial, and that is where he was found not guilty for child pornography. And again, excuse me, because people are coming in with emails. As far as Kelly's demeanor, he was stoic throughout, they're saying. And I can speak to seeing him in the courtroom early on when I was covering this in the first couple of weeks. And he really didn't show a lot of emotion or expression. There were times where you saw him lean over, pull his mask down, and have conversations with his attorneys when different people would testify, and he would shake his head as if that wasn't true. But we haven't really seen a lot of emotion from him throughout.
Well, Drika, there's no doubt that also,
there.
his career has taken a hit. I mean, throughout all of this, you just don't hear his songs played on the radio as much as you used to. On a very basic level, artists aren't scrambling to collaborate with R. Kelly.
To support him, correct.
It's definite.
That's right. And, there was a small group out here earlier today, actually within the last hour before getting this news. They were playing his songs and playing his music. There has been a presence of a small group of people that support R. Kelly and believe that all of this is a big lie and that he was unjustly being targeted. Just kind of checking behind me. We have Gloria Allred, who's actually right here at the podium. I don't know if she's going to speak to everyone, or perhaps she would. Gloria, do you mind speaking with us really quickly? We're live on television. I know there's a few people still getting set up.
They're not set.
Okay. So we're going to see if we can get her to talk to us, because she's been at the forefront of a lot of these types of cases and represents some of the women who testified throughout this trial. So we're going to see if she can join us briefly. And it looks like she's going to do something at the podium with everybody at once. Tanya?
Oh, great. Yeah, we see her at the podium, so I think we can listen in.
Okay.
Thank you, Jerika. Oh,
Okay.
not quite yet. She's getting set up. We do have a shot of her, though, a live shot of her. While we're waiting for her to get set up, Jerika, thank you so much. We're going to also bring in Rebecca Roiphe, who is a CBS News legal contributor, who is standing by. And for those of you just joining us, I want to bring everybody up to speed. A federal jury has convicted singer R. Kelly on federal racketeering and sex trafficking charges, finding him guilty on all counts. Rebecca, if you're with us, I hope you're with us. If you'd like to comment on the scope of this trial. There were so many witnesses, 50 witnesses, so many days of testimony. R. Kelly's defense team was up against a lot. Do you think that there was ever any question that this was going to be the result?
There's always a question when you have a jury. You never know, but it was an extremely strong case. And, bringing a federal racketeering charge is an aggressive move because it's hard to prove. It's, easier to prove that one individual engaged in one act than that they were part of a criminal organization. But as you said, there was a massive amount of evidence, and there really were a number of witnesses that spoke not just to the individual acts, but how organized it was, how many workers, employees, assistants he had who in some way or another were helping him to lure these women and really prey on them. So to me, it is not a surprise. And, as soon as we heard that the verdict was coming in this quickly, obviously, it was very clear that it was likely going to be a guilty verdict. But the prosecutors really did put on an extremely strong case, and it was far-ranging, as you said, and difficult for the defense to present a compelling response to that number of allegations.
And of course, Rebecca, he does have other charges against him, including child pornography and aggravated sexual criminal abuse, very, very serious charges. In light of this, guilty verdict, where can his defense team go? Number one, can they appeal this verdict? Is that likely to happen?
They will definitely appeal this verdict. Whether there is an appealable issue is a separate question. I mean, obviously, they will look for any number of issues. There were complicated rulings. This was a high-profile case. And there are a number of issues that they could raise on appeal. Whether that will go anywhere, that's another question. It is rare. And, unless there is something significant.
Rebecca, I hate to interrupt you because we just got you, but we're going to go to Gloria Allred, who's speaking. Please stand by. We're going to listen into Gloria.
Of the 6 victims for whom charges were filed in this case and who testified at this trial. In addition, I represent 2 other key witnesses who testified, and another victim, Jane Doe number 9, who was prepared to testify but was not called to testify. I have been practicing law for 47 years. During this time, I have pursued many sexual predators who have committed crimes against women and children. Of all the predators that I have pursued, however, Mr. Kelly is the worst for many reasons. First, he used the power of his celebrity to recruit vulnerable underage girls for the purpose of sexually abusing them. These were not May-October relationships, which is what his defense attorney wanted the jury to believe. These were crimes against children and some adults. Second, he used the power of his business enterprise and many of his inner circle employees to assist him and enable him in his plan and his scheme to lure his victims to him, isolate them, intimidate them, control them, indoctrinate them, punish them, shame them, and humiliate them. All of which made Mr. Kelly more powerful and more dangerous than many other sexual predators who operate without a network of financial and businesses to support and enable them. Third, the government proved that Mr. Kelly had genital herpes, that he knew that he had it, but failed to disclose it to his underage victims and adults, and that he failed to use condoms to protect them and lower the risk of contracting it. As a result, many of his victims contracted this sexually transmitted infectious disease from him and will be forced to suffer from it for the rest of their lives. Fourth, in many cases, Kelly, after grooming, isolating, and intimidating his child victims, recorded them being sexually abused and humiliated by him. He directed these videos and produced them, not only for his own sexual gratification, but in some instances for the purpose of using these videos to silence and threaten his victims with public exposure of these tapes if they ever revealed what he had done to them. These tapes were not sex tapes. They were child pornography, which is a crime. In their closing argument, the defense had the nerve to bring up the name of Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. What they failed to mention is that Martin Luther King Jr. said that, quote, "I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character," end quote. That is what the jury did today. Based on the evidence, the jury must have concluded that the defendant, R. Kelly, was no Martin Luther King Jr. Instead, R. Kelly is a sexual predator who is guilty of very serious federal crimes. The defense should be ashamed of even mentioning the name of Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. in any discussion of R. Kelly, a dangerous sexual predator who has harmed so many women and underage girls. The defense also argued that Mr. Kelly treated his victims, quote, like gold, end quote, targeting them, recruiting them, isolating them from their family and friends, forcing them to follow his abusive rules in order to control them, punishing them if they did not follow his rules to the letter, hitting them, threatening them, sexually assaulting them, giving many of them genital herpes, and victimizing them by recording many of them on child pornography tapes, is not treating them like gold. R. Kelly thought that he could get away with all of this, but he didn't. Because despite the fact that he thought he could control all of his victims, he was wrong. Many of his victims had the courage to speak up and tell their truth, under oath, in a court of law. I am very proud of my clients who agreed to testify in this case. I thank them for trusting me, law enforcement, and the jury to find the truth. My clients who testified fought through their fear and relived their painful experiences with R. Kelly and his enablers. R. Kelly's victims handled themselves with dignity and survived intense cross-examination by the defense. Because of their courage and the outstanding work of federal agents and prosecutors in this case, justice has been done. Let this be a message to other celebrities who also use their fame to prey on their fans and others who are unfortunate enough to come into contact with them. You're also I know that she is happy with the verdict that Mr. Kelly has been convicted, and thankful that the jury listened to her and to the rest of the witnesses. She says, "I've been hiding from Robert Kelly in fear due to threats made against me, and I'm ready to start living my life free from fear and to start the healing process." I want to thank the jury for considering the evidence and truly listening to my testimony. I want to thank the U.S. Attorney's Office and the federal prosecutors in this case. Thank you for shining a light and helping me to get out from under that rock that I stayed under for far too long. Also, thank you to the federal agents who have listened to my story and for all that you have done to protect myself and others over the last 2 years. If you've been in a similar situation, I urge you to come forward as well. It will be like a weight lifted off of your shoulders. No one should have to live like that.
Gloria, do you feel, or do the women you represent feel like justice has been served today? Are they angry that it's taken many decades of allegations?
Well, I mean, since the verdict was not just announced, I've not had a chance to consult with all of them. But I know that a number of them feel that if he's been convicted of any crimes, whether or not it was crimes for which he was charged in reference to them, that they're happy that he's convicted.
Are they upset it's taken so long to get to this point?
I'm sorry, I can't hear your question.
Sorry, are they upset that it's taken this long for this to happen?
Are they upset that it's taken this long for things to happen? Well, they understand that justice moves at a glacial pace. It's not like it is on television, which I've said many times. Everything doesn't happen within 1 hour.
Laura, in regards to Sonia, the jury didn't come back, based on their decision, they did not believe your client. They did not believe
Well, it's not a question of whether they believed her. It's a question of whether they found guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. And that's very different than whether they believed her.
So there was doubt in their decision with your client.
Pardon me?
There was doubt in their decision with your client.
You would... Go ahead.
Thank you for that. I think the prosecution wants to see.
Sure. Absolutely.
Okay, the United States Attorney for the Eastern District is going to speak, and then she'll be followed by Special Agent in Charge, Homeland Security Investigations. I'll give you the U.S. Attorney's name first. It's Jacqueline, Jacqueulyn, Kasulis, Kasulis, U.S. Attorney, Eastern District of New York, Acting U.S. Attorney, Eastern District of New York, and she'll be followed by Peter Fitzhugh, Fitzhugh, Special Agent in Charge, Homeland Security Investigations. They're not going to take any questions because the defendant still has to be sentenced. We have a podium here that I'd like to put up. Can you raise this mic stand a little bit, or is the podium going to get in the way of the mics?
It's going to get in the way.
Huh?
It's going to get in the way.
Can you raise this mic stand?
It'll be in their face.
No, it's in their face.
All right, because I'm going to put in, I'm going to bring over that podium so they can put some papers down in front of it.
Jason, were you surprised?
And we heard earlier from Gloria Allred, attorney for the victims, addressing reporters after R. Kelly's guilty verdict was announced. He has been found guilty on all counts. I want to bring in Rebecca Roiphe now. She is a CBS News legal contributor and former Manhattan prosecutor. Rebecca, welcome. So, you know, let's recap this trial, if you will. What is the significance of it? I mean, we've got 50 witnesses, 23 days of testimony. The prosecution had a very strong case. The defense tried to discredit the witnesses. Was this a case of the defense not just doing a good enough job, or was there simply too much evidence to overcome?
You know, it can be both. It's hard to second guess or, Monday morning quarterback exactly what happened during the trial. But I do think that, as Gloria Allred said, some of the tactics that the defense used were not particularly convincing. And, I think that reference to Martin Luther King in the closing was a sort of last effort to turn the trial into something about something else, and it didn't work. And I think, really the reason why those tactics don't work is because the prosecutor did do such a good job of putting on a solid case with a lot of evidence, not an emotional, appeal, but rather an appeal to facts and the judgment of the jury. And it's those kinds of cases that become very difficult to poke holes in from the perspective of a defense attorney. One thing I would remind everyone is a defense attorney does have a job, and he really does have to defend his client client as best he could. So, there are things that people found offensive about what this defense attorney said or concerning, but, that is his job. And I think he did the best with what he could during, parts of the trial and maybe made some missteps at others. But, it's really hard to put on a defense when there's that much overwhelming evidence. It's not simply one victim, but rather multiple victims. And it's not only multiple victims, but rather a structure through which this
Rebecca, we're going to go to prosecutors now for a second. Sorry to interrupt again, Rebecca, but we have prosecutors speaking, so we're going to listen in.
And closure to the victims. This conviction is the latest in a long line of prosecutions by this office to protect women and vulnerable minors from sexual predators. Today's result was made possible by the outstanding work, dedication, and skill of the prosecution team. AUSA's Elizabeth Geddes, Nadia Shahada, and Maria Cruz Melendez. And senior investigator Keith Kolovich and paralegal specialists Kira Wenthen and Alyssa Fagel. Their grace under pressure was truly extraordinary. I want to commend and thank the Special Agents Ryan Chabot and Sylvette Reynoso of the Department of Homeland Security Investigations, under the supervision of Supervisory Special Agent Elvin Hernandez, for their outstanding work on the case, along with detectives from the New York City Police Department. Together, this superb team spent countless hours over years to sort through records and documents and interviewing over hundreds of witnesses to painstakingly marshal the facts and build a strong case. I also want to thank the U.S. Attorney's Office, the Northern District of Illinois, and Cook County State's Attorney's Office for its assistance. Last but not least, I want to thank the men and women of the jury for their time and attention throughout the trial and for their careful assessment of the overwhelming evidence in this case. In rendering its verdict today, the jury delivered a powerful message to men like R. Kelly. No matter how long it takes, the long arm of the law will catch up with you. I will now turn over the microphone to HSI Special Agent in Charge, Peter Fitzhugh. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Pete Fitzhugh, and I'm the Special Agent in Charge for Homeland Security Investigations here in New York. Before I begin my remarks, I'd like to quickly thank Acting United States Attorney for EDNY, Jacqueline Kasulis, and her amazing team of prosecutors. Today's verdict brings an end to Robert Kelly's decade-long reign of terror over many vulnerable girls, boys, and young women. With this verdict, it is my sincere hope that it will also begin the healing process for these brave survivors. Today's decision demonstrates that our system of justice knows no boundaries and will hold criminals accountable, regardless of their fame or fortune. Mr. Kelly once said, "I'm no angel, but I'm no monster either." I wholeheartedly disagree with that. The investigative and prosecution team spent months conducting hundreds of interviews, analyzing documentary and electronic evidence, all of which confirmed the true depravity of Mr. Kelly. For years, Mr. Kelly believed that his power and fame could defy the justice system and allow him to continue his abuse. Today, a jury of Mr. Kelly's peers confirmed what these courageous victims have known for far too long. Mr. Kelly is a prolific serial predator. Despite numerous reports of his destructive abuse over the years, Mr. Kelly's brazen acts of intimidation against his accusers kept him shielded from prosecution. Mr. Kelly had the audacity to engage with his associates to bribe and threaten victims, their families, and witnesses, all in an effort to prevent the truth from being told. Make no mistakes, these actions by Mr. Kelly and his associates were not only designed to hide the truth, but to also keep and continue his destructive ways against the young and vulnerable. In their failed attempt to evade justice, Mr. Kelly and his associates made one critical error. They underestimated the resilience and courage of the victims who refused to be silenced. He believed that his fame would drown out the voices, that they would not be believed, and that his notoriety would deter tenacious investigators and prosecutors from taking up their cause. These victims overcame Mr. Kelly's abuse. They deserve to be recognized. Know this: we stand here today because of them. Without them, today would not have been accomplished. Today is their day. HSI and our partners at ED&Y take a victim-centric approach to investigations, ensuring that we swiftly focus our efforts on those most impacted by the crime. With this in mind, I truly believe that in light of the great bravery of these victims and their advocates, it would be much more appropriate to call them survivors, as they refuse to remain victims. As we think about the survivors, I would like to take a few moments to speak publicly about the work HSI special agents and our partners performed on their behalf. A lot has been said about the relationship between law enforcement and the communities we serve. Today is a reminder of our profession's highest calling: to protect the public against oppressors. Today's verdict was not inevitable. It was only possible because these survivors placed their trust in law enforcement. They believe that agents and prosecutors would diligently seek out the truth and bring Mr. Kelly to justice. For that, you have my utmost respect and admiration. Today, we stand united with the survivors and our community with one simple goal in mind. Mr. Kelly and others like him will never again be in a position to abuse others. Together, we will continue this work to make certain that one day, days like today won't be necessary. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
No questions?
That's it? That's it?
And for more on this, I want to bring in Jessica Levinson. She's a CBS News legal contributor and a professor at Loyola Law School. Jessica, welcome. You know, of course, we are just hearing now that R. Kelly has been found guilty of these federal racketeering charges, and he will likely be in prison for years. But I want to ask you, will he also have costly civil suits in front of him?
Absolutely. I think there's a very strong possibility of that, particularly given the verdict here. Now, it isn't always the case that just because you're found guilty in a criminal court, then you're clearly found liable in a civil court where the burden of proof we know is lower. Obviously, in a criminal court, you have to show proof beyond a reasonable doubt, and you have to have a unanimous jury verdict. What do you have in civil cases? You have a much lower standard, like clear and convincing evidence or preponderance of the evidence. But what this boils down to is, yes, absolutely, he could be facing civil cases dealing with a number of torts. That's a word we use to mean civil wrongs. So you can have civil sexual assault claims. You can have civil claims dealing with assault, where that's the act of physically harming somebody. Battery, where you're putting somebody in fear of being physically harmed. You could also see claims dealing with intentional infliction of emotional distress, again, based on some of the allegations we heard here and how he kept his victims, what type of circumstances he kept his victims in. You could also see negligent infliction of emotional distress, and you could also see claims against some of the people who helped in this criminal enterprise. So this is not the end of the day for R. Kelly.
Well, how far could that go? Because there are some that argue, you know, the entire recording industry facilitated R. Kelly's behavior for so long, in the way that it sort of turned a blind eye to complaints that were coming out about his behavior for years.
Yeah, that's such an important question. And it's a question I think we could obviously ask beyond this case, where you have basically a whole industry, in a way we would say aiding and abetting bad behavior. But that type of us saying aiding and abetting in the kind of the common vernacular, turning a blind eye, knowing that something strange is going on, but, you know, we really still want to do business with this person, or they're so successful, let's just kind of pretend we didn't hear it. That doesn't give rise to legal liability. When you're talking about aiding and abetting or a civil conspiracy or, you know, an agreement to essentially help R. Kelly commit some of these civil wrongs, you need a lot more specific and direct proof than just, I heard a lot of rumors, or I, probably thought something was going on. You need much more specific actions that helped R. Kelly, entrap these women, helped them perhaps cross state lines, that they were very directly connected with this, with the potential civil wrongdoing here.
All right, Jessica Levinson, please stand by. We're going to bring back Jericka Duncan, who is outside the courthouse. Jericka, you were there for all of those news conferences. What were your impressions from the Allred statement? It got very specific, very detailed, and rather graphic in some instances, not as graphic, of course, as what was heard in the trial, but it was a pretty impassioned statement. What was your impression?
My impression, and forgive the music in the background, but these are supporters of R. Kelly. There's a few of them, but they've been playing his music, and we're determined to be heard. But I think that Gloria Allred's big message in this is we were not going to stop. We being the many women that she's represented in this specific case along the way. She knew that it wasn't going to be easy, because this is someone who was on trial in 2008 for child pornography and found not guilty. And I don't think anyone, any lawyer you talk to, assumes that they're going to win or assumes that they're going to lose. They wait, and they know that it's a process. So I think what you heard were the words from a woman that she represents, and the idea is they feel vindicated. I thought it was interesting when you look at that Surviving R. Kelly documentary to hear federal investigators who worked on this refer to the women not as victims, but say they deserve to be called survivors. I also just want to read a statement that I got in from Stephen Greenberg, who also represents R. Kelly in that Chicago case. He says, "We are extraordinarily disappointed in the verdict that has returned by a New York jury today." He said, "Mike Leonard and myself believe that the verdict was not supported by the evidence, and instead it is a reflection of the hysteria whipped up by a couple of TV shows. We intend to continue to fight on R. Kelly's behalf to ensure that everything is being done that can possibly be done." When I asked about an appeal, he said he's not going to go as far as to say that there will be an appeal, but he said, let's just say there will be a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking about this one. So there's a question mark regarding an appeal. We know that that's typical for people who lose in cases like this. But from Steve Greenberg, another attorney who represents R. Kelly, he's saying there will be a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking. But what a trial, what a historic trial to see someone who was so revered in his space of not television, but in music, R&B singer, 3-time Grammy winner, to go from that 10, 15 years ago to where he is today. But as the prosecutor said, it was all because there were many women who they believe the defense underestimated in terms of what they were willing to say, put their personal business out there to prove that what they said happened actually did. Tanya?
Right. Right. And Jericka, we heard from prosecutors who say this is a big win for the victims, and of course it is, but it was also a big win for the prosecution as well, wasn't it?
It was, and you didn't hear from those 3 women that were standing behind us who really did the tough work, the hard work. Again, I can't stress enough, 6 hours in a closing argument from the prosecution over 2 days, going over detail after detail and witness accounts that the jurors had already heard from, but really drilling home the point that they believed when it came to R. Kelly operating a criminal enterprise, all in an effort to have sex with women, underage women. The all count says it all. I mean, it wasn't on a few counts, but he was found guilty on all counts. So this is historic. It really is. And I think when you asked me earlier just about the nature of how things have changed post Me Too, I think this is more of that. More stories that we've done, more cases that we're seeing as a result of a pendulum switch, if you will, or how things have changed and evolved culturally and historically as it pertains to sex abuse and women being believed. And in even this case, as you heard prosecutors say, it wasn't just men, but it was also, or excuse me, it wasn't just women, it was also some men that were a part of this case as well.
Absolutely. You can really see the through line here. Well, Jericka Duncan, thank you so much. I hope you can still think clearly after that music. We can hear it's blasting so close to you, but thank you so much for joining us. If you can stand by for a second.
News package, so we're sure.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you so much, Jericka Duncan at the courthouse there. I want to bring in Rebecca Roiphe now. She's a CBS News legal contributor and former Manhattan prosecutor. Rebecca, what impact will this verdict have on similar cases moving forward?
Well, with the caveat that every case is different and therefore prosecutors make different decisions and different defenses are effective in different cases, I do think that this sets a pattern. First of all, it was pretty innovative in using the racketeering charge. In other words, charging R. Kelly not just with the individual acts, but actually being part of an enterprise that assisted him with these criminal acts or through which he conducted these criminal acts. I think you might see prosecutors using that creative and aggressive charging strategy. Second of all, I do think, as Jericka was saying, that the cultural landscape has changed, and defense attorneys are going to have to take note that it doesn't necessarily work to cast doubt on the victim's motivations, especially if they come forward with so many of them. And so here, you had this effort to show that, to say, these were just groupies, these were just hangers-on, these are people who are trying to profit by bringing charges against me. Now, that may work in a future case, but I think you're going to see defense attorneys second guess themselves, check it before they go forward with that kind of defense, making sure that they can actually present it in a way that's credible, that it won't necessarily fall on the jury's ears in the same way it would have before the Me Too movement.
Absolutely. I mean, you can say we've come a very, very long way from the days when these allegations were surfaced and, people in the recording industry and the larger cultural sort of, lexicon sort of poo-pooed them. We've come a very, very long way culturally. Have we come that far legally? Are these now, do people need to worry about who else could be implicated in this situation?
Our laws are sort of notoriously stubborn. They don't change significantly. The way that they're applied changes, and I think that the way they're applied changes appropriately to accommodate cultural changes and changes in the nature of what is important to the population. That said, we always have protections. We have protections that are built in for defendants, and that will never change, and it ought not to change. But those protections may have worked in the past to shield certain people in a way that they shouldn't have, and they no longer will because of those cultural changes. So I don't think you really see a legal change. I mean, there are some in the laws in certain ways, and statutes of limitations have changed, but those are marginal changes. In many ways, these laws have stayed the same. They're the same as they were, decades and even maybe a century ago, but the way in which they're applied and the way that juries hear cases is different. And that's really, really important, because not only will that change the way these trials are conducted, but also who is willing to come forward and report when they have been a victim of crime. And I think,
Peace community, peace community. Welcome to the community. If you're new, welcome. If you're a part of the community already, welcome back. Yeah, man. What y'all thinking, man? R. Kelly found guilty on all charges. I have a glare in my background. Pardon the glare. Shout out to everybody that had something to say about this topic and this whole situation. Shout out to Trip C. They blasting his music, Sweet Mom for Life. Shout out to Eric Bond. Everybody that, started leaving comments in the chat, because this is not just about my thoughts. It's about what everybody thinks about these types of situations, right? It's about what everybody thinks about this situation, because this situation is crazy. I did think that maybe a couple of charges would have slipped. Shout out to Miss Nita. Everybody that's not subscribed, make sure you're subscribing. I did think that a couple of charges would slip, especially when people have power, you know what I mean? Notoriety, different things like that. Danette Turner. There's no time to get, first he gets charged and then he gets sentenced. So he could face possible decades. He's facing decades right now. So, it's all about the judge, the maximums and minimums, and how they're going to, sentence him. Because, between sentencing, they always have sentencing guidelines where it's like a minimum and a maximum. And between the min or the max, you could fall in the middle somewhere. Or depending on the crime, depending on you, depending on maybe how you're conducting yourself, the empathy to the court, to the family, all types of stuff. They say, you know what, you're really disrespectful. We're hitting you with the max on all charges. The judge has that right to do that. You know what I mean? So that's where the judge comes in. After the jury comes in, the judge takes the case now, sits back, and he makes his own feeling of what he feels as well should be right as far as sentencing goes. So that's where the judge comes in. So the jury has done their job. Now it's time for the judge to do his. So he got convicted guilty on all charges. I got a little birdie in that just came to me just now. I'm gonna break the news later. You know what I'm saying? That Polite is really scared right now. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm gonna go into that on a separate video because I just don't want to break news. So I'm gonna do it in a separate video. But to a close source that was around, from LA, California, I should say, was in a location around Brother Polite. I'm gonna leave it at that because everything still has to be confirmed with certain situations. But even on the strength of just protecting the source, you know what I'm saying? I don't want a person to be able to limit a person, say, I know this person was with me in my entourage the other day. See what I'm saying? So we got to put those things. So I still got to do the background on the information. That's why I haven't gotten into it. But I heard that he's really worried in the light of this guilty verdict. I heard that this has him very worried. I heard he had a look on his face. He didn't say nothing. He didn't act like nothing. I'm gonna get into it later. I would like to have a person to come up to speak, but with situations like this, I don't want nobody to feel like they endangered. Because when you're dealing with people with power or money, sometimes they can make you feel that way. You know what I'm saying? You can always appeal anything in courts. You can appeal. That don't mean you'll get your appeal granted. That don't mean your motion for appeal will be granted. That don't mean that your case will be overturned. You got a lot of charges to appeal. You got a lot of charges. He's guilty on all charges. It's not like you locked up for this charge. Let's appeal this. I'm free. You got mad charges. Sex trafficking, racketeering. You got mad charges. So he going to be in there anyway. Even with the appeal, he's still going to be in there. He's going to be in there for a minute regardless. You know what I'm saying? But, they try to start that appeal process because you don't want to see him in there forever. That's why they start the appealing and try to get some things, you know what I mean? But in a case like this, you know what I'm saying? R. Kelly is a deviant. We're not going to say that he's not a sexual deviant. Some people are caping and trying to make a fucking justice for him. I know he's a black brother. He's one of our people. And sometimes all that. Sometimes you want to make a case for your brother or your sister. But come on, son. Look at Aaliyah, son. He married Aaliyah, bro. Aaliyah was 14, 15 years old, bro. Stop. Was dealing with the moms and went to marry her daughter. Feel me? Pulling a Polite. Polite pulled to him. Okay? So we not going to play that game. We not going to play that game. The same shit going on. How many stories? People get scandaled and all of that, especially black people, especially when you got power, money. We know those stories. But what about those stories of kids talking about, listen, man, R. Kelly used to come back to our school. Somebody's like, R. Kelly came around. Like, not in no good way. Like, this nigga was like Candyman. Like, this nigga was a creep. You're going to throw away all those people's stories. Some people came out telling these stories and it was about no money. Ain't seek no money. They just said what the fuck they said and kept it pushing. Fuck that. I want y'all to know what the fuck going on. We cannot be caping for situations like this. We cannot. I'm sorry. We cannot. You can't. Can't pick and choose. Oh, this my cousin, so he cool. He a pedo. Oh, this my man. Oh, he rich. Oh, he my favorite singer. Oh, nah, me. Word to my mother, son. He my favorite singer. Nah, me. Nah. Fuck out of here. You can't do that, son. You got to get them all out. That 504. Shout out to you, Queen. Shout out to Gwendolyn Reed. DSA, what's up? What's up? Yeah, man. So when you think about that shit, you got to really think, man. You got to really, really think, son. It's deviancy, it's sexual deviance going on, son. Look at Brian Pumper, he in jail. He in jail right now for some sexual assault. You would think he porno nigga, he doing this, he doing that, he busting nuts for money. No, he over here trying to take the cookie. He's trying to take cookies. Okay? Ladies, protect your cookie. He out here trying to take cookies. He want to take milk and cookies. You got to watch what's going on out here, son. This shit is some weirdo shit, the weirdo central shit going on right now. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you want to be able to back your brother or your sister. But you can't, man. For you to back your brother and your sister and they doing some old nutty shit, yo, bro, that make you nuttier than them. It take people to stand up and stop them to say, nah, man, to make them sit back and think like, damn, yo, my sister just told me I was wrong for that shit. And make them go think about that shit in their head. I had them sitting around joking with people like that shit is cool, son. People are displaying histories in front of us and we are letting them slide. We are letting people slide with the fucking history, son. We are bugging. We are bugging with that shit, bro. Dead ass. Dead ass. We're bugging. We're bugging, son. We can't let that shit slide. We got to let that shit go. Get out of here. Just like Sarnetta, I told him. Just like Sarnetta, nigga, you need to delete them polite videos. Get your ass the fuck up out of here. What is you talking about? Not playing with y'all, son. Stop the fuckery now. Ain't even about your platform, which been weaponized against mad black women and children and men. So we not going to do that. We just seen a young girl, okay, who was on your platform and you used that little girl. Manipulated the situation, used it and weaponized it against other people and calling women B, queen, bitch, queen. What kind of shit is that? On the interview that a little girl supposed to see. No. You caping for pedophiles subconsciously or consciously. But then you coming around here talking about you disappointed in me. No, you not. You be disappointed in me if I tap on one of y'all motherfuckers' doors. Be disappointed in that type shit, yo. Don't fucking play with me with the dumb shit. Don't come in the conscious community with the fucking street tactics. I just came out the streets using the fucking street tactics. Don't come to me with that shit. I'm like Martin, but if you throw a rock, I fuck around, throw a shot. I'm like X too. I'm about to legally change my name to Martin X. So y'all motherfuckers know when y'all see me. Nigga named Martin X. Yes, I'm Martin till you fuck around X. Period. That's how we got to do this. That's how we got to do this. We're not standing on the side of no fuckery. Get your ass out of here. Get your ass up out of here. Because these people just good long enough until they do something to one of our kids. That's it. Oh, that motherfucker's all the way in Illinois. Oh, that motherfucker way in motherfucking Calabasas. Oh, that motherfucker way in... Shit, all right. You act like motherfuckers don't travel. You act like we don't travel. You act like our kids ain't traveling. Done. It's only one world we live in, you know. Ain't no escaping it, you know. So we got to confront this shit at all costs. We got to take the bull by the fucking proverbial horns. We got to grab these bulls by the proverbial horns. This shit is out of control. This shit is out of control. Way out of control. Out of line and out of blood clot order. Me say, out of blood clot order. Me say, the boy, them out of order, you see. Me say, me can't pan the boy, them, me say. The boy, out of order, you see. Me say, exactly. Me say, I can hear my aunt tell me right now. Me say, the boy, out of order, me say. Me say, me can't bother with him, man, you know. Me say, the man have no coot, him have no gumption, me say, you know. Me know how them people are sing song talk about them. Exactly. Stop playing. It's real serious shit. I can hear my aunt telling me right now. Me can't bother with them on them. The man them deviant, me say. The man them wicked, you see. The man them bad mind, you see. Exactly. I can hear my Aunt Amy tell me right now. The man them bad mind, you see. Then I can hear my cousin telling me. He talk with a lisp and he's Jamaican. Me say the boy them bad mind, me say, how the man them theater, you know. How them theater. The man them wicked, you see. How the man them round them yalla do them thing there. The man them wicked, you see. And every S he said, the man them wicked, you see. He got the lisp with it. I can hear my uncle telling me with the Jamaican with the lisp. I can hear him now. I can hear him. I can hear my uncle having a conversation. The boy wicked. Me say can't bother with him. Me say me can't bother with him either because me say. That's how you say ace. Say TH is all his S's is a TH. Me say I fed. Okay, I fed. Okay, and I fed the same damn thing, son. That these people is fucking deviants and wicked, bro. There's some wickedness going on, son. There's no way you could marry Aaliyah. Some people can't. That was Aaliyah, though. She was beautiful. Shut your ass up, because you wanted them too. Fuck you mean that was Aaliyah and she beautiful? Yo, son, y'all need to stop the bullshit now, yo. Until it's your kid, she beautiful. Now you ready. Now you Rambo running around. Minus the bandana. You running around with the knife and the gun. Looking for a motherfucker. You see what I'm saying? Nah. Yes. The enablers are just as bad. They are, just like Sweets just said, the facts. The enablers are just as bad, even worse, because it takes us to go lift their ass up. That's why we need us to be on some different shit, son. Like, even in my communities, like, making sure, like, you see, I used to hang out. I was out on the block selling drugs and all type of shit, and we used to chill with my friends and shit. We need to be together like this, yo. Y'all check the offenders list today? Yo, anybody new moved in our neighborhood? Okay, let's go give them a warm fucking welcome. Hey, motherfucker, we know you're here. Hey, that's one of them. Hey, until your ass get the fuck out of here. Till your ass get the fuck up out of here. And everywhere you go, motherfucker, it's going to be that. It's going to be that. We're going to make sure, nigga, as soon as you move in the community too, nigga, we put your fucking picture in the grocery store, the local ones, to make sure, nigga, every store you circulate, nigga, this you. This you. Somebody might talk to you, think you regular. You not regular. Pedophilia is a sickness. It's a fucking mental illness. It's a disease. It's a disease. Can't be just cured from this shit. It's a perversity of your mind. Feel me? Can't just say, oh, I'm cold turkey, and you quit it. Nah, nigga, don't work like that. Don't work like that. You got to sit your ass down in some building, partially padded room or some shit. Go sit your ass down and go think about that shit for a little 10, 15 years. Can we not playing? That's going to give our kids 15 years to grow without your ass putting hands on them. Imagine that. Well, thank fucking you. Oh, our kids need them little 15 years your ass going to be away. Certain of y'all motherfuckers. We don't know what R. Kelly's going to get because he hasn't received sentence. So I'm just talking in general. Hey, Stark, salute to you, queen. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just talking in general. But at the end of the day, nah, man, we love Posse Wagwan. That's what I'm trying to show you. We can't be caping for these ops, man. We can't be caping for these individuals. You know what I'm saying? Word to mother, yo. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat just in case y'all want to talk. I was gonna end the stream. If y'all want to come up and talk while I go walk my damn dog. My dog needs my love. I have to take care of her. That's my baby. My girl. I'm sorry, she left me. Damn. Fucked up. Yeah, though. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So if y'all want to keep the ball rolling, you want to come up here and talk, y'all could come up and have a little panel and talk while I walk down the block. Walk my damn dog. But y'all could keep the conversation talking about what y'all need to talk about, and y'all lift y'all voice, man. You come on and just talk, man. And speak y'all minds. Lift y'all voices. Lift y'all voices, man. Let's not stay silent. You know what I'm saying? Let us not stay silent. I got a show that I'm going to be unveiling probably. I'm going to figure it out. Because I was going to do it tonight. But I think I need to promo it first. It's going to be on Polite. It's another show. You know, I got the People vs. Polite, the courtroom, the community court. I already got that. This is going to be another situation on Polite. I got something that's coming up with R. Kelly. Yeah, I got a show that's going to be coming up with this case with awareness and shit like that. So you guys got things, but everything that I'm doing, I need to be interactive. I'm not doing nothing just to be doing it and just talking to y'all. If that's the case, I'll do pre-recorded content. Y'all don't have to see me live. I have mad other things I'm doing. I'm recording my new album. I write music for people in the industry. I write music for underground artists as well. I'm acting on scripts still. I'm writing scripts for people to act the shit that I'm putting together. I'm doing mad shit. So I can just do pre-recorded content and I don't have to go live. You'll get these videos all the time. But I need us to come up and start talking about these topics. That's what I'm doing. This is called community. My own channel is called Uda Block. I'll go over there if I just want to talk. You see what I'm saying? This is a community. This is about community conversations. Just like community conversation, you know, with CCC TV. Right? There go E. Bond. Shout out to E. The other Eric Bond. Right, E? Where you at, E? Hold up, E. Shout out, E.
Peace.
What's
Yeah, you know the crazy, man. Peace, brother. Thank you for bringing it out, man. I sent you an email as soon as I heard about it.
Crazy, bro. Crazy.
And the thing about it is Minnesota and Illinois, they still waiting for him.
That's what I'm saying. They got 2 other states that's waiting for him. And you know that basically once this goes like this, it's going like that over there too. You already know. They follow suit. You know what I mean? But he got 2 other pending charges, sexual charges, touching of a child, of a minor. He have one that it was a weird charge. It was, damn.
Yeah, I forgot what it was. It was so many of them that they had in Minnesota. Man.
In Minnesota. It was a weird one, like not even just rape, but like a weird thing with some weird shit. I'm like, yo, this is crazy, bro.
But you know what, though? I wanted to share something with the chat. When you look at some of these states, when you look at some of the ages of consent of marriage, when you look at the state of California, do you know that they actually say that it's okay to marry a 12-year-old as long as the parents consent?
Of course. Why would they say that? Think about
these
that.
people are sick, man. We live in a sick nation.
That's the most sickest town. Tinsel. You know that.
Sick.
The fuck? Them's the people that's getting away with that, son. Who else would want to profit from something? Who else does that benefit? But the people that's getting all these celebrity teens and all these people that's coming in and they doing what they doing to them. Who else? Who else benefits from something like that? We, the people, don't benefit from a law like that at all. That don't protect our children as a citizen. No, that don't give us no right, no nothing. It actually takes away rights from us. That if we try to seek like some kind of, you know what I mean, judgment on something, we'll be turned away and denied based on the law, statutes, and commandments. Based on that law statute.
You know what, though? Like you say, the Most High, how he bring it out, just like you were saying last night, right? I was on Chief X podcast for a little bit last night or yesterday afternoon, and Miss Winbush, she used to cook for R. Kelly. So she was on there just yesterday. And she just said everything would be thrown out. This is some lies. This is this and that. These girls knew what they was doing and this and that. Now what? This is less than 24 hours later. Now what?
Crazy, yo. Crazy. Sickness, man. It's a sickness, brother. It is a sickness. Triple C TV, shout out. Thank you. New Triple C's. If you want to join this panel, jump up right now because I will be walking my dog. I didn't want to end the stream, but I can. Doesn't matter to me. I'm trying to do shorter content anyway. But I do like for people to lift their voices and speak what they feel. This is a topic that is not about me just implementing, pushing my thought on you. It's about how we feel as a people, and just like Polite and every other thing, these situations are bringing us closer together. We have to stop worrying about the shit that's bringing us apart and arguing with each other when we get on these panels. We need to stick down with the shit that matter and understand that all of these things are bringing people that wouldn't normally interact with each other, especially on YouTube, together. And we got to celebrate that. Because sometimes we come together in bad and sometimes we come together in good, but in all times it's for good reason. We just got to celebrate.
I can't wait till you drop the information. Like you said, old boy, No Light.
Mm-hmm.
He said he's shook right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's shook. I got an inside source from LA, from California, I should say, not LA, from California. And so you know they've been in a couple spots around him and shit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, just judging on his motions, his body language on certain things. This situation, this case right here scares him. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? I don't want to say too much until probably later because, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, they be starting to rabble down who the fuck the person is. Probably like, wait a minute, I ain't been around nobody in this day and that day. Then they start, you know what I'm saying? So I just like to throw little things out there because I still want to back up the information. That's one thing. So it's allegedly. Everything is always alleged. But yeah, being around, they said he seems very scared right now. And the illusion that he's giving off of being so secure and stuff is actually like a front. It's really a front, even though we know this. But you know, especially this situation, I think they were around him at the time of when he seen this or something like that, or he seen this. I think it was in a location or whatever, how it went, and he seen this, and it was just giving me how they felt about how his mannerisms, his actions, how his facial expression, or you know what I'm saying, and he looked more worried than not, like maybe seeing like, damn, if they could do this to R. Kelly, who's fucking R. Kelly, who is he? And he's in Florida with this shit, you know what I'm saying, what they're gonna do to him. So I think he's more worried than we all, some of us are believing. He's actually more worried. Triple C's, you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I just want to make sure you can hear. Yeah, man, I'm trying to get people to talk about it though. I mean, me personally, I'll be like, I be trying to get a person to talk.
No,
like,
I'll let you go till you're done.
Can I bring in a voice changer or some shit? I go download a program. I would never use one, but fuck.
You know I'm still at work too.
I go download that thing, please. You talk that shit because I can't speak it the way a person gonna speak their information. You know what I'm saying? Like for real.
Did you see that video he dropped earlier?
Who? Oh, which one?
Instagram Polite.
Another one?
Yeah, from earlier. I told Ramil because I was at work trying to put out a dumpster fire. So I told him to run with it because, you know, we trying to get his subs up. Crystal shut it. So he ran it earlier, but yeah, he on there dancing with some woman in a club or something, but it's the comment he made. I done did everything I wanted to do and this, that, or the other. Yeah, he shook real bad.
That's the words of a guilty man. That sounds like a man that everything before him crumbled.
He know he going down, but he gonna fight to the very end.
On their deathbeds, or people that's watching everything you built crumble in front of you. Because there's no way you could build something and feel that way about what you've built crumbling beneath you. I don't care. His image is crumbling. Things are crumbling. Even if the whole business structure of what you're building ain't crumble yet, things are crumbling. So there's no way you can act like things are not being affected. So all of that is a defense shit. It's a defense tactic. And I got inside sources, or people that's been around, I should say, that shows that, come on, stop. Stop. Like really, really stop, man. You're not selling nobody with the bullshit, son. You're really not. You're really not. And just the lack of empathy is going to get you cooked, because that's what's going to cook his ass and make them R. Kelly his ass. Just because your ass lack of empathy. Watch. You ain't say no empathy for that child. Watch what they do to
no remorse.
Show the empathy. Watch. You better. Anybody that be in court, you charged with some shit. You did some crowd crazy shit to some people, the victim's family in there talking, and you bugging in there. You acting like the guy with the wild hair the other day. Your Honor, I did not. Remember that guy in the court? You want to go on and act any dumb way? They're going to sling your ass, bro. They're going to sling you. They're going to put your ass right next to York for real, under the jail.
His ego too big for him to off himself.
He ain't doing that. He ain't doing that.
That's one thing. When the sister said he'd be next to York, that's what people they don't understand. ADX, that's the worst prison in the United States.
Hold on one second, y'all.
This shit out of control, son.
Yeah, it is.
Out of goddamn control, son. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got my sleep, but I ain't get to go get nothing to eat before I started work.
I didn't think they would have clapped him on all charges. I thought that some shits would have slipped or some shit.
Look, it's a new dawn. It's a new day.
They got him on all, son. That's serious.
Staying in jail tonight.
He gonna be facing decade anyway, son. Period. Decades is in jail, son. Period.
Well, he already. What is Kels right now? 53 or 52?
50 something.
Of Kels? Somewhere probably around there. Yeah, he's somewhere around there.
Yeah, he cooked.
I would think he's around there. He probably older than Jay-Z. I think he is.
Yeah,
R. Kelly been around since he was old in the 90s.
He is older than Jay-Z.
He was 30 in the 90s. When he was doing the damn.
He's what? Like 50, right? No, he ain't saying no 50
Yeah, no,
party.
he about 52. He about 52.
They want me to remove this. It's just gonna reinstall itself. Dummies. I work with some idiots. Oh, my bad. But now he going to jail. He's staying in jail. Go put him. He need a cell opposite yours. He 54. Star say, y'all still there? Everybody got quiet.
Yeah. I'm here.
I'm sorry. I have a bad habit of fussing when I'm fixing one of these computers and somebody didn't do what it does. It puts the lotion on it. It puts the lotion on its skin. It does what it's told. They don't like to do what they're told. So then I have to fix their fuck ups.
Hell no.
Yeah.
What was your first thought, sister, when you heard about it?
Hallelujah.
Damn.
Finally, it's about damn time. All this shit is worse because if you'd have just went to jail when you were supposed to in the first place, you might have been out already and people would have forgave you. You know, shoot. We can go so many ways with this one.
How you think they're gonna come at? Because the first thing I heard a lot of brothers and sisters say, what about Jay-Z and all these rap? I mean, it was so many rappers that did songs with Fat Joe,
then they need
Fat
to go to
Joe,
jail.
Nas. It was a lot of niggas that did records with him.
Yeah, every time I hear his voice, I cut the radio off. He make me sick to my stomach. That's just me. That's my behavior. You can't just cancel R. Kelly music. It's different. Look, half them songs sound like he wrote them to them little girls that he was bothering. That's what it sounds like to me when I listen to that shit. So as soon as they say Kells, I cut it off. That's just me though. That's what canceling means.
But you know, you want to know something? No, it's just that I don't know what it is about, this this year, excuse me, as far as all this stuff coming out with Polite, with Charlemagne coming back up again. All this stuff is being exposed.
You ain't heard my theory. I said the Lord's mighty sandal, just the tip has touched the atmosphere of Earth. And it's blowing all the Hotep dust away. And I haven't been proven wrong yet.
Man.
Yeah, scroll up the chat, Gary, if you see the link, but he went to go take the dog out. He's getting out of jail on his 115th birthday. So you might as well just chalk that up as a L and just leave it alone. Because how can you sit up here and hear a man sing a song with a daggone choir behind him talking about he believe he can fly and all this other mess, and he going to jail for the mess he going to jail for? If you can make that compute in your mind and still watch him, that's all well and good. But I can't. I cannot.
See, this is the problem. A lot of our people, we want to say that we don't want to deal with we don't want to deal with the quote unquote white man system and this and that. But then when justice come down, everybody happy. So you see how it could be kind of confusing.
Mm-hmm. Look, you ain't never heard me say I ain't gonna use the white man system. I call them folk. I pay taxes too. And I'm gonna sound so distressed and so Caucasian when they answer that they ain't gonna pay me no attention because I sound the same way in person, so they know it's me. Nah, see, no, you ain't finna set me up for that trap. The white man is the devil. The white man is the enemy. Well, guess what, Sherlock? Black folk work at the police department. Hispanic folk work at the police department. Every damn race work at the police department. So it ain't just the white man system. We just don't participate. We need to start participating, and maybe we wouldn't have all these preverts running around here doing nasty things to the children. But that's just me.
Them facts. Facts. For real, for real.
Everybody want to say, oh, what about this? What about that? I have sympathy for victims, but what I do not have is sympathy for people that were victimized and go on to victimize others. Because if you knew it was wrong when they did it to you, you know it's wrong if you do it to somebody else. Point blank, period. And you can't give R. Kelly no excuse because he had access to have a doctor on call. So while he had that doctor on call to sit up here and take care of his little indiscretions, he could have had a therapist on call to give him therapy so he wouldn't do that shit. That's point blank, period. Sitting up here giving these passes ain't helping nobody. It's making the situation worse.
I don't know if you heard that his defense attorney made a statement towards the end of the trial. I think it was the last day, that he was on the same level as Dr. Martin Luther King. I said, is y'all fucking serious, man? What the fuck is going on up there in Brooklyn? In the courthouse? I said, you got to be fucking kidding.
To say that twaddle, that drivel that's falling out of her damn mouth. But I bet you what, she wouldn't leave her child in the same room as R. Kelly. But you'll sit up here and defend that piece of shit and try to make justifications for him. I don't care how many songs he done made. I don't care how many people got their groove on and got pregnant while that was playing. If he wasn't there, it'd have been somebody else. So, well, you cancel.
Right. That's the thing about it. Everybody want to say now, well, motherfuckers was playing his music and this and that. Well, shit, he was the top R&B singer. Yeah, but shit, once motherfuckers found out he was a pedophile, they stopped fucking with him.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
You can't say what people, why would you sit up here and listen to this artist because they once collabed with this man when we all know they did that shit before the first stuff even came out. And collabing don't mean they best buddies. Shit, some of them people don't even meet in person when they collab.
Yeah, shit is like Brother Malcolm said, the chicken come home to roost.
Mm-hmm. It's just people didn't think it was gonna take this long for the chickens to roost.
Gary, pull back up, Gary.
He made them sing about the teens he sexed. He made them. That's what I'm saying. You can listen to them songs and hear he talking to them little girls. Dream Girl. Angela, you and me both. I always, what about this and what about that? What about the white folk and the pedophiles? What about the Me Too movement? Didn't the white folks start that? Ain't these folk been rapidly going to jail? Y'all was so focused on Bill Cosby, you forgot Epstein, Weinstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, the Invictium guy.
Yeah.
The other people, you forgot about them.
Shit, put Woody Allen in there too.
You pulling up to a horse race on a damn donkey. Same species, but different events. We can focus on more than one thing at a time. It's just today, R. Kelly is the one that got found guilty. So today, we're going to talk about his nasty, perverted ass. Excuse my language. Exactly. Even before he broke off on his own, Lil Leah got it.
That's why I asked the sister yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I asked the sister on Chief X podcast on YouTube. I'm telling you, it was less than 24 hours ago. She said all these girls, they knew what they was doing when they was 15, 16 years old. She sound foolish in a motherfucker.
Because R. Kelly paid her good, and she don't want to get on his bad side in case he get out. And she think other celebrities won't hire her for that position. Man, if your job mean more to you than somebody else's children, I hope you never get hired again. Then when they showed up, remember when they showed up on Arsenio Hall to show together with matching outfits? That's right after they got married. And they were like, no, we're just really close friends. Exactly, Star. Ain't nobody neglect. Look, y'all want to sit up here and have us. We can't, white folk focus on the white folk. So why can't we focus on the black folk? Hip hop real in the house. Then it's just ridiculous. You act like you can't talk about one thing at a time.
Motherfuckers act like if you talk about somebody black or you ain't being black or you a sellout or something. Yeah. Fuck that.
You want to let these you want to sit up here and condemn the white folk for their nasty people, but you want to let our nasty people walk around with nobody checking them. That don't make no sense. Don't make no sense at all. This gotten past the point of disgusting. Past the point of disgusting. I'm so tired of these folk. So tired.
Real talk.
I'm sorry, but they didn't make us the face of nothing. They did that to Bill Cosby because he who he is. The same time they was running Bill Cosby, they was running Epstein at the same damn time. Don't watch one part of the news story, watch the whole thing. I know about all these people. They've been running behind the Catholic Church like hounds on a fox hunt for years. All publicized. New documentary just came out. Don't sit up here and tell me that they putting us as the face of it. Nah, white, black, green, blue. I don't give a damn if you got polka dot stripes and you spout peanut butter out the tip of your fingertip on Tuesdays. If you're nasty, your face need to be blasted. Now we're talking about the celebrities here. We're not talking about the normal everyday people that do stuff. Yeah, Russell Simmons, they was going after Russell Simmons and he ran his ass off to what? Dubai, the nasty capital of the world, allegedly.
That nigga in Bali right now. Over there by Indonesia.
You know what it's called when you say stuff like, well, you talking about him, but what about such and such? It's called justification. You low-key justifying the perverts' doings. You low-key justifying the you trying to sit up here and throw the topic off to somebody else is justifying what the person we was talking about in the first place was doing. You justifying it.
Real talk.
And if we could charge him, we could charge him. Everybody in ATL knew. He from Chicago. Everybody in Chicago knew even before he got big. So what about them? What about the whole neighborhood that knew he was trolling around the high school at the McDonald's? What about them? Shit. Golly. Y'all kill me. Y'all want to wrangle all of them up? Well, maybe if we show them that ain't nobody playing, maybe people will stop doing the nasty shit. And maybe people will stop hiding and caping for the nasty motherfuckers. But as we see, it seems like they tired right now because they out coming out the woodworks like termites on a wood house. And they've been dragging him through the tabloids all this year. They done interviewed Priscilla. They done interviewed the lady that he was with, the one from overseas. They done interviewed all of them. All of that shit is wrong. All of it is wrong. So if you can't change the old head's position, okay, we just gonna have to wait y'all out. And while we waiting y'all out, we gonna sweep up from our generation on. How about that? Exactly, Star. As soon as somebody get caught up, they forget all the fuck shit and everybody want to rally behind them. I halfway believe one of these motherfuckers could be live and slit somebody's throat in front of an audience of 1 million, and at least 2/3 of them will still be caping for him. Oh, he must have had a reason to do that. That's how I feel right now. And all this shit is centered around money. Money, 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 money. Because if it was if Robert Kelly had never got him a singing contract, how long do you think he would have lasted in the neighborhood before his ass got slapped behind bars?
Oh yeah, he's 54 years old for sure.
He been doing this since the 90s. 2 decades. 2 decades. Hell, they tried to take him to trial before, remember? And he came out after and it's made a damn song called Not Guilty. How dare you, nigga, when they got the only reason you got off was because you paid that girl off, not and her parents, not to show up at the fucking trial. But people let that shit slide because they like stepping in the name of love.
Then they said during the trial, they said he was going both ways. He was fucking with little boys.
Yeah. Look, they start out and it's grown women. Then they get tired because they get anything they want. So then they move on to younger and younger. And then they add in the opposite sex. It always seems to go down the same path. He was doing this before he ever got famous, Yvette. Talk to some people from Chicago. They all over the internet saying this shit. Every time somebody talk about R. Kelly, is somebody that pop up. They all knew. They all knew. And saying, I don't know, in these days when you can find out damn near anything by the click of a fingertip, don't fly no more. I know it ain't 24 hours in a day, but that's why they make condensed websites for news. Like, how can these people, because we are not aware. You sit up here with this tunnel vision and you only focus on one thing and the rest of it's flying before you and you don't even see it. That's why I get mad when people say, oh, what about this? Oh, what about that? Oh, if you'd have showed up 30 minutes ago, we was talking about that too, but now we on here. Why do we have to sit up and drive one subject into the ground for 52 hours? We don't. No, it was supposedly one of his female relatives loved past it. And then when the victims come out, oh, ain't nobody never did nothing. They came out in the 90s. Remember that, Eric?
Yeah, for sure. Hell yeah.
They came out in the 90s and everybody was caping and everything else. So yeah, people been talking, but people sat out there and they loved his music so much that nobody would believe that Kells could do something like that.
But one thing about it with the music
You're putting
shit,
the onus on the victim instead of on the perpetrator, and that needs to stop. Look, R. Kelly quit being a victim himself when he put his hands on his first victim. It take a special kind of nasty to sit up here and evacuate yourself on an underage girl. On anybody, but on an underage child specifically. And even with that evidence, they let him off the last time. So I'm sorry, but this is long past due. I don't give a fuck if they kill his ass in jail or whatever happens to him. Because he had plenty of time to stop and say, I'm wrong, and change his ways, and he didn't. He just kept getting worse and worse and worse. So I got no sympathy, none.
talk that shit.
Exactly, Gwen. Oh, y'all just won't leave me alone today, huh? Y'all gonna make me actually work to my actual scheduled end time. Oh, Lord. Exactly, operation. Exactly. He knew. He just didn't give a fuck enough. He thought he was powerful enough. He was killed. Look, after the trial, the next album he came out with, the first thing he said was, "It's the Pied Piper of R&B, y'all." Now look, if you go back to my channel and search for Pied Piper, there's a video titled Pied Piper of Hamlet. Something like that, but it's got Pied Piper of Hamlet in it. You can look at it and you can see the correlations because we broke this down like a month or two before this shit popped off. And it shows you the correlation between him calling himself that. Everybody should know what the fucking Pied Piper. Anybody over 30 should know who the Pied Piper is.
Right, that shit was wicked as fuck. And then he put out that he put that Trapped in the Closet shit out. Remember, it was like a little movie shit.
Yeah.
But it will be interesting to see how other content creators who are protecting Polite, such as Sonetta, what they gonna say about this? Because it's like a dagger in their side. Because this the biggest story in especially in the Black community. So you got to speak on it. You got to speak on it.
Hold on, Pied Piper. Look, the town was overrun by mice. They promised the Pied Piper they were gonna pay him if he could remove all the mice. He did such. They reneged. He came back and took all their children, and they were never seen before again. Bad case of green screen of death. Go ahead, Eric.
No, I'm just saying, like I said before, it's going to be interesting to see all these people that's protecting Polite and all this shit that's going on with him, to see how they're going to react to this R. Kelly situation. Because like I said, this is the biggest talking point right now in our community, period. I mean, this shit on world news, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So how can't you talk about this shit? What's your position on it?
I mean, Ghislaine, you want to talk about Ghislaine Maxwell? Last I heard, she had boarded herself up in the conference room talking about somebody was trying to kill her at the prison. You want to talk about Epstein? He mysteriously, quote unquote, committed suicide, allegedly. You want to talk about Weinstein? His ass sick and got transported to LA for more charges. But today, it's Robert's turn. And he just got found guilty on all charges, with more to come if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they say
by the music. He summoned the mice and the children by the music. So now listen to it again. He the Pied Piper R&B, y'all. Man, come on.
And we don't want to hear no Fat Joe explanations. Yo, I didn't mean this. I didn't mean all this, all that bullshit. We don't want to hear that.
Time for all that is done, son.
When is Polite's next hearing?
December 3rd is the next scheduled one, but it's a bond hearing coming. And I keep my eye on the website all day from 9 to 5. And it ain't moved yet.
Hell no. Hell no. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and fall out, and I'll just
Don't
get back.
leave me, Eric. I'm at work still.
What community? Where my guy? Where my guy? He's still
walking the door.
okay. Well, what's his name? Gary at? Where he at?
Gary didn't get up yet.
Oh, okay. It's all good. It's all good. What's your you say you still at work?
Yeah. I'm typing to an agent now.
What time you get off?
At 7. Work just didn't want to let me go today. They decided to not. I'm supposed to be heading the migration process to a new system. And they decided some kind of way they released the Kraken before it was time. They ain't even got all of us signed up yet. So the customers called in, wigging out.
But you know something though? It's crazy how a lot of our people, we talk about we want to get the bag, and we look at a lot of this shit being so influential in our community. Like I told my son and my daughter, right? My daughter, she 18, and my son 23. I said, man, listen, you can listen to this shit. I grew up on hip hop, woo bop the bam, right? I said, man, don't look at these motherfuckers though. These motherfuckers be wicked as hell behind closed doors.
Yep.
Wicked as fuck. I ain't gonna say all of them. I'm just saying a great majority of
them. I can't with these people. It just makes me mad. It makes me angry. Like it don't pertain to me, but it just makes me mad that you would even try that. Oh my God. Slow people.
They blowing your shit up, huh?
Yeah, well, it's just one little agent and they don't understand what I'm saying. So, as always, Google is your friend.
Like I said, when you look at the ages that they let these motherfuckers consent to marry, we live in a sick fucking nation.
California has those 12-year-old laws because that's the land of polygamy. That's the last settled part of the U.S. Gary
yeah, but not just them. Michigan, Idaho, Mississippi.
Yeah, but see, all of that's on the West Coast. That's Mormon country, honey.
No, but Michigan and Michigan is in Midwest, and Mississippi is
Mormon country. All of that is Mormon country.
It's a bunch of sick motherfuckers.
That's why they say you have to have parents' permission, but you also have to have court permission in some cases, something like that. What do you have? Yeah, that's fine. Oh.
But I want community to do after we done with this, I want him to do a situational podcast on the Haitians. The situation that's down there on the border. These motherfuckers riding on horseback.
Trying to people like, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, the motherfuckers thinking they fucking John Wayne or some shit.
Okay.
How many years Kale's looking at? 20 in New York?
I heard 10 to life or 15 to life, something like that. But they ain't at the sentencing phase yet.
Right. I know they said, I think I heard something about 20 in New York, and then they're going to ship them to, I think, Minnesota next or Illinois.
Mm-hmm. You got somewhere else to go. After that. Why would they even hold that for review? That's so petty.
What's that?
Angel's last comment. That was held for review. Epstein is dead. Look, his little bottom bitch is in prison right now, scared for her life, swearing everybody trying to kill her. He dead.
Yeah, them worms and fucked him up.
Mm-hmm.
Them worms and had a good meal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How do you expect me to fix something that's broke? Girl, you been putting a fan on that bitch. You should have took it to the repair shop when it first happened. Now your shit finna be done, son.
Well, she spilled some on it.
Nah, her fan ain't working. And she trying to see if it's some kind of scan that she can run to fix it. That's not how that works. That's a physical issue. Devanya in the house. I say Devanya in the house. I think Uda's still walking the dog.
Yeah, this shit fuckery. It's gonna be interesting to see all the shit that come out tonight. Everybody wanna be pro-black and all this shit.
And we gonna be on our regular dizzle, as always. She hoping and praying that scan gonna fix it, but that fan is dead. Laptops, when that shit happen, you might as well go get you. That's why I don't like laptops. One little thing broke, and you gonna pay more to get it fixed than you did for the laptop. But with a desktop, all you gotta do is pop the side open. I ain't removing no more of that shit. Hate it when they do that. They got the whole list of products that reinstall themselves for me to uninstall. Do I look like Boo Boo the Fool? Nope. Now this seems to be the time of revelation. Everybody bones is coming up out the closet like the end of the Thriller movie.
The Valley of the Dry Bones.
Yes.
Yeah, who know that in the chat? Ezekiel 37. Press 1.
Press 1. Press 1. Press 1. This stuff is hard to take. So, you have to find something that you can laugh at. The situation ain't funny in itself, but this shit gives you comedy gold.
Yeah.
Eugene, you scared, huh? You probably looking extra shiny today. Eugene, you doing booty hole exercises so you can save yourself. It ain't gonna work, Playboy. Hey, George, go tell Eugene we talking about it. We ain't got to worry about the Nuwaubians. We ain't got to worry about Tito. The Nuwaubians got that on lock.
You know what? That's the next thing too that we need to talk about these.
Hey, we was talking about it. We was talking about it last night, and me and Dewdrop was in the chat, and she caught what I was throwing. I was like, why all of a sudden? Because I kept asking Chuck them. I'm like, why are they so active right now? Like the still Nuwaubians that still follow your. Like, why are they so active right now? Why are they up in arms about Polite? Half them mofos still believe in him because he was up there in Bushwick for a good number of years. They used to call him True Light. These mofos still low-key follow him. And that makes me think if he getting some kind of messages too back and forth from him and Peppermint Patty. But that's just me speculating. You nasty, Mazel. You nasty, Marcus Mazel. How am I nasty? Ain't none of y'all ever met me in person. Y'all sit up here and talk and heard a lie with no proof. But you want to get mad and come over here and call me nasty. What? I'm going to be a crackhead next, right? Man, ain't nobody studying y'all. Go tell Teabag every time he send one of y'all over here, I'm screenshotting and I'm adding to the list. The FBI might not move fast, but they do move. That nasty lady. Your mama a nasty lady. Your whole matriarchal line is a nasty lady. And I bet all of them got that nasty women's disease too. Now run and tell that. Dang, Tasha, why you told him that? He called me nasty first. So, hey, whatever you get after that is on you. I hope I don't have to send nothing out. But now, what was we talking about, Eric, before Marcus decided to come over here at somebody's behest? Eric, did you leave too? Who is the damn? Where did you walk the dog to?
My shit went on. My shit got froze for a minute.
Oh.
Who you arguing with?
Marcus was in the chat and he called me a nasty lady. So I told him his whole matriarchal line was nasty and they had nasty women's disease.
You know what? Talking about the disease shit. You know they said Kels through this whole shit.
He got
he gave so many of them.
Herpes.
Yeah, he got that package.
Mm-hmm.
That's yeah. That's fucked
You
up.
must not realize I'm one of the fastest mods on YouTube. Put what you want. Ain't nobody gonna see it. You're just talking to yourself.
Hey, hold on real quick, sis.
Mm-hmm. I still don't know to this day. If anybody in the chat know, which disease was he referring to when he said the nasty woman's disease? I always was curious. Oh. Y'all didn't see it. It was held for review. So I just hid it. Is that what it was? Gonorrhea. Thank you, Gwendolyn. I don't know why, but that was always a question in my mind. What the hell was the disease that was the nasty women's disease? Drop the link like it's hot. Get that restream link, boy. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. And I read the book, and I still didn't understand. But he ain't say nothing about the nasty woman's disease in the book, I don't think. But I always wanted to know, what was the nasty woman's disease? The shit that makes you go, But no, the part that always killed me in that movie, when Mr. was trying to make sure breakfast. You can't attest to nothing. No, when Mr. was trying to cook, he fucked his hand up. He about burned his eyebrows off, and Celia was over there in that rocking chair rolling. Oh my goodness, that shit used to tickle me. And then Celia go in there and bust that breakfast. Then Suge threw it against the wall. Then Celia went there and throw down, and she couldn't do nothing but eat it. That shit always tickled me. That rocking chair in the corner with Celia all day. Oh my goodness, he treated Celia so bad, but he couldn't even light the damn stove. It's like, come on, man, come on. Uda, is you back? You had to walk down to Ellis Island, didn't you?
That nigga walked the dog to Sonetta crib.
Oh, Lord. Sonetta mad at everybody right now. Windmilling at the sky. You did this to yourself. All to yourself.
This the worst thing that could have happened. Now to just Kelly shit out, because you know everybody gonna be talking about the shit. You feel me?
Yeah.
There's so many parallels to the shit with Polite.
Yep. So many parallels with York. And so many parallels. They all go down that same nasty path, it seems like. It just depends on what costume they put on that day. That's why R. Kelly said he was the Pied Piper of R&B.
That's why I say with the costumes and shit. That's why no disrespect to none of the brothers that deal with Egypt. But I'm just saying, motherfucker, you could buy a dashiki and all of a sudden you a Egyptologist all of a sudden. That shit crazy.
Half of them can't spell normal English words. Normal words in English, they first language. But you want to claim that you done read.
You done read the meta-netta. you done read the meta-netta.
You can't pass a spelling bee. Fifth grade spelling bee. We ain't even gonna go hard, a fifth grade spelling bee. But you want me to believe that you done translated some ancient documents that the professionals can't translate. Okay, whatever you say, I ain't got nothing to do with that. My name Jim West, and I ain't in that mess. That's why we stay at the treehouse.
Just buy a dashiki. You all good.
I told my brother, I said, yo, we could put you in a costume, and you ain't even got to scam nobody, really. You just got to sit up there in the costume and say shit, and the women and the money will come flocking to you. I ain't finna get on no damn internet. I said, boy, you don't know what you missing. You missing your calling. I'm going to tell you what to say. So my
hell no.
Like, dude, but I'm going to keep an eye on you. Ain't none of that freaky deaky shit. And I told him, I say, shit, if they go follow somebody, we can make a whole comedy tour out of this shit. Then you have a reason for the costumes. Remy. Well, it don't do no good right now anyway, because Uda ain't even nowhere near the computer. He went to go walk, quote unquote, walk the dog 10 minutes ago, and he ain't come back yet.
That nigga forgot the live was on.
He forgot. Oh, I forgot I was finna call him though.
Yeah, I was just looking at some of it on the news right now. Yeah, they say he in New York.
They say what in New York? I know, right, Remy? And he be leaving us up here, and then we ain't got no power. If you gonna leave us up here, like Angie say, he leave us in the car with. He took the keys.
You call him?
Yeah, I called him. He ain't answer the phone, but he should pop up in a few.
Yeah, he'll be back. Yeah, they was talking about if Brooklyn, if they get 20 years to life, and they said Chicago and Minnesota, they ain't gonna even try him.
Who? They ain't gonna try R. Kelly? Or
Yeah, they say if Brooklyn, if they come down at his sentencing hearing, they give him 20 years to life. They said they just gonna drop. Well, they ain't gonna drop it. They just ain't gonna try him. You know, Minnesota, Illinois.
Why waste the money?
Exactly. How do you feel about them asking all the artists that did music with them?
I mean, it's already out there, so it ain't no use in telling them to take it down because people still gonna listen to it. It's up to the people not to listen to it.
Right.
If they said they was gonna snatch R. Kelly whole library off the internet today, it'd be thousands of mofos downloading it and selling it bootleg.
Did you see outside the courthouse? Outside the courthouse,
yes, they out there playing music, nasty bastards.
The shit.
I don't listen to them. You see, it takes people not listening. That devalues it. Man, oh man. I'm actually a little tired today from work.
But look though, sis, I gotta fall back. Y'all back.
All right. Hold up. Oh. Eugene, did George give you my message? We've been talking about you. Is you real scared yet? Has it sunk in yet that your ass is grass? Don't you wish you would have listened to us when we said that you need to stop and just confess and, you know, just give it up and stop with the scamming? I know you doubled down. You doubled down. And Uda better hurry up because I get off in a minute. I gotta go get something to eat. Gosh. No. Uda, I clock out in like 25 minutes, dude. And he gonna get in the pill. It's not over. That's what you say. And I just wait. Ooh, DJ. They got meatloaf at the grill today for chicken quesadillas. I ain't never been quiet about pudding pop. Say what? They got meatloaf and then they got chicken quesadillas. You better go somewhere else with that drivel. Huh? Can you see what? It's seafood. It ain't. This is the specials for today. He already in jail. I'm doing good, Devanya. How you doing? Huh? It was one other one, but you ain't gonna like it. They got a fried fish sandwich with fries. You want that? Okay. No tartar sauce. You just want naked fish on naked bread. I don't really like tartar sauce. And I keep talking even after that appeal. Look. He a pervert. Either way it go, whether he convicted or whether he ain't convicted. Coming over here telling people, you ain't gonna be saying that when. When, you mean if. Because it can go either way. Boy, you see me in here talking. What, you want some attention? You want me to do your hair, don't you? Nah, you just look more stupid. Huh? I can't hear you, Mr. Mumbler. I was gonna ask you if you would do it after you was ready. Yeah. See, why don't you just come out and ask for what you want instead of sitting up here going around the world? Yeah, I am going to keep talking. I don't need your permission. He a nasty mofo. Nasty. Want me to say it again? Nasty. He a pervert. Mommy, please don't leave, because Chester's gonna put his hands on me. Oh, you think you're gonna use reverse psychology to make me you gonna be mad when your little fearless leader is in jail. He already in jail, but he ain't getting out. So now, since you've delivered your little message, go ahead and go somewhere else and deliver it to somebody else, please. Before you get blocked. Blizzard. Hey, Uda ain't here to stop me. Right now, I got the car, even if the keys ain't in here. Yeah, God does have the last say. God does have the last say. But you can't speak for the Lord no more than I can. I said, if you ain't gotta go, you ain't gotta go. You right about that. No, you so right about that. You don't have to go. But we can make it so we don't have to listen to your twaddle or read your twaddle, however you want to take it. He does. So while you over here caping for R. Kelly, what if it comes out that God isn't on R. Kelly's side on this one? How you gonna look then? Are you gonna keep that same energy if he get locked up? Are you gonna do that while you sitting over here talking about keep talking? Are you gonna keep that same energy if he get locked up? Because you know what? It's more charges they can slap on it. So if these don't stick, there's more. But are you gonna keep that same energy? He on the side of right. I don't think he gonna hold up a pedophile over the pedophile's victims. Yeah, hey, I ain't speaking for the Lord though. You over here acting like it's a given that he gonna get off, and we don't know that. The trail was bullshit. It was a trail, huh? It was a trail. Hey, Remy, the trail was bullshit. You speaking with conviction. Now, see, I don't know because I can't speak for the judge nor jury, but you're trying to speak for the Lord. So, yeah, you meant to say trial, but you didn't read what you was putting while you was trying to downgrade somebody else. So now the trail was bullshit. Let me show this so everybody can see and they don't think I'm making nothing up. Yeah, the trail was bullshit. That's what you said. Mm-hmm. Melanin Royalty, peace and welcome, peace and welcome. You don't pay attention to that. You don't pay attention to the messages that you send to the chat, and you really think that you want me to think that you thoroughly investigated what's going on and you know all the tea on the trial and you just know that he's gonna get off. Okay. You wanna argue? I can't argue with you. You mad? I can't argue with you. And look at you. Look at you. He mad. He big mad. I don't claim to speak for the Lord, but I do know at least a little bit of the word. And last time I heard, if you did something wrong, you was supposed to repent. He ain't even trying to repent. And you were also supposed to follow the laws of the land that you were at. And again, this land, pedophilia is illegal. Say it with me, family. Illegal. So he done had his fun, and now he's going to pay the price for said fun. You sitting up here caping for him when they done showed that he actually did marry Aaliyah when she was underage. Dude, really? Really? Oh my gosh. You don't know shit about God's word, just like a few hypocrites. Yeah. Say what you want. Say what you want. But you don't know me from a can of paint. Like, see, I can sit up here and say that the reason that you going so hard for R. Kelly is that you are living vicariously through him and the things that he did, which means that you are down for it. But see, I don't make assumptions about people I don't know. So I was going to keep that to myself. But since you're going to say, I don't know the word and nothing else, I know it's wrong as hell for a grown ass man to put his hands on a child, whether that child is agreeable with it or not, because it's against the law and it's nasty as hell, and you aren't going to get me to change my mind. So like I said, you can go ahead and make your little junket, we gonna protect Robert junket, just like the people outside the trial where he just got found guilty, sitting up there playing his music, because you more worried about how he make your body move than the fact that he a nasty motherfucker. Hey, they done pulled up the court records from when he married Aaliyah, and they got the falsified ID. So that's not hearsay. And you over here caping for nastiness. Yeah, he ain't got sentenced yet. So that means they trying to determine how many years that he's going to get, not how soon they're going to let him out. You know, they ain't going to just say, oh, well, we made a mistake. No, we are in the sentencing phase, darling. We are in the sentencing phase. That means he's going to get sentenced and he's going to go to jail. His lawyer might try to fight with an appeal, but I believe I heard one of those news people or a lawyer correspondent say that was highly unlikely. No, I haven't listened to him since I found out. See, you got the wrong one. How is that hearsay when they got the fucking documents? That's not just what people came in and said. They got the damn documents from the courthouse. Comprehension is key in these matters. You don't know that. They said they got the damn trial televised, dum-dum. Dum-dum like gum-gum. It's in the sentencing phase. Ain't no Mike go to jail about it. He going to jail. His lawyer might appeal. He in the sentencing phase. They just tried and convicted him. He is guilty. They are trying to figure out how much they're going to charge him with, darling. That's not hearsay. That's what the courts say. You really the dumb. Hearsay and bullshit trial. But let me ask you this. Would you leave your child alone with Robert Kelly? So you can't live vicariously. I'm not trying to insult you. I'm just saying. I asked you to leave a long time ago. What is us sitting up here talking and don't have one dum-dum? See, you don't even get the reference. I said dum-dum want gum-gum. That's a reference from a movie, darling. That's not me calling you dumb. But if you want to take that and wear it, put that shoe on because it seems to fit you, huh? So I don't know why you gonna sit up here talking about I'm being mean to you when you in my space right now. You in my space right now. We didn't ask you to come over here. We didn't ask you to come over here and try to cape for Robert. You got on the full ensemble. You don't just have on the cape. You got on the whole costume. You caping for a pervert right now. No, I said Polite was a nasty motherfucker. I said you maybe are living vicariously through him. That's not insulting you. I'm just trying to figure out why the hell you would still be running around protecting this nasty motherfucker when he just got convicted and we waiting for the sentencing phase. Now, the lawyer can't come up between the conviction phase and the sentencing phase and say, oh, no. They're going to send him to jail first, and then they appeal. That's how the court process works, darling. That's not me disrespecting you, but you keep sitting up here telling me what I'm going to do, so I'm speculating on you because you keep speculating on me. I said from Jump Street, I don't know you from a can of paint. But see, I didn't come seek you out. You came and sought me out. So you can't dictate how my mouth run. You sat up here and told me I still listen to R. Kelly's music. You can go back to any of my videos on my channel, Trip C's Treehouse, and see where I said I don't. And I have argued with my DJ friends about playing it. You can also see where I broke down why he calls himself the Pied Piper of R&B. So, no, I haven't supported Robert in a number of years. Ever since that first videotape got leaked where he peed on that underage girl. He peed on an underage girl. He took his used bodily fluids and projected them onto her. He peed on her face. Now, if you're going to come up and say his brother did it, we all know that's a goddamn lie, because his brother was on the other side of the room and he came to the door and he said, "Hey, Kel, phone for you. What's your next one? What's your next one? Oh, I don't do my research though, huh? I don't know nothing about the case nor the trial, huh? I don't know nothing about that." Hey, you don't even know where I am, so how you going to play anything in front of me? You can't get mad. "Oh, I play R. Kelly right in front of you, and I bet you won't do shit." What I'm supposed to do? That's just his music. What do you want me to do? Bust your speakers so you can call the police and try to sue me for property damage? I ain't no dummy. Aw, Angie, I was playing. I could have timed him out long ago. I can't drop nothing. I don't have the keys to the car. And Uda won't answer the damn phone. He better do something, because I get off in 9 minutes and I have to switch accounts. I have to put on my good avatar. I've been at work, Tomas. I'm just getting off. I just hopped up here because it was slowing down. Look, I've been putting out dumpster fires at work all day. First, I'm an L1, but all the other L1s start running around like chickens with their heads cut off because they ain't been paying attention and didn't know we had a migration coming. So then the customers called and they running around like chickens with their heads cut off, because their computer's doing weird shit, like uninstalling what they paid for. So then they pulled me into the meeting to give me training because I'm supposed to be head of the migration team. And I got my password, and then we were supposed to set up the 2-step verification, and it wouldn't work for shit. I was with one TL. I was with one team lead. I started out with one team lead, and before we got it fixed, it was like 4 TLs and an L2 in there with me. I told him, I said, Dado doesn't want me to play. It doesn't want me to play. So we finally got the main dude that has all the access, and he got in there, and he got me in, and then I started getting sessions. Hey, my job knows stuff is getting good, but I got 7 more minutes till I can log off. And when I log off, me and DJ finna go get something to eat. And then I'll be back. And I will be going live. Live. Hey, DJ. You didn't bring those papers back. Okay. I know, right? Angie say, not today, baby. Not today. You done got Angie pissed off. She don't want to hear it. She don't want to hear it. And she sure don't want to hear it. That's what I'm saying. Why do they keep telling me this is a... Why is my email all of a sudden on the dark web? Go ahead and ring that bell. It ain't gonna be me. It ain't gonna be me, the answer. Whoa, Lord. Yes, with no keys, Angie. I've been up here. Me and Eric was up here, but Eric had to leave. He said he was walking the dog and ain't been back since. Oh, wait, if I play the song of his people, he might come out. It worked the last time. Where are you? Okay, I can leave. He finna end it, y'all. I called you before you answered the phone. Oh no, I gotta switch over to my other account so I can get to my good avatar. You know, it's a party tonight. Yeah, but we got, I gotta get DJ situated first. So probably about 7:30, 7:45. Remy say you lost the dog. All right. I can't end nothing. This is your life. All right. Okay. We'll all link up in a little bit. Bye. Uda say he finna leave the live. So, Uda say he finna leave the live. In the live. And he told me to go ahead and leave if I wanted to. But I'm gonna sing y'all. I got a song. I wrote a song. You like to hear about it? Here you go. Someone staying in jail tonight. Someone staying in jail tonight. It's gonna be a banger. Look for it soon on the Scam God soundtrack. Angie. Oh Lord. Trip CTV signing out. Even though the host ain't back yet. He's saying people come in, they just come in, but he got nothing playing. Uda, you wrong. You be doing us wrong, Uda. I'll see you all in a little bit. Let me get situated.